Light is fading. Coldness creeps back into the world. In October, the solar god of many names begins to fall into shadow. The great thought made form has gone away, no longer breathing life into the world. Estranged from this holy union, the earth goddess becomes the dark mother, who in the designs of her mystery taketh as she gives. And so in Irish myth, the pagan festival of Samhain, meaning summer's end, observed on October 31st, was perhaps most aptly described by the heroine Emer as when the summer goes to its rest. Welcome to the Hidden Passage.
Hello. Do you want to play with me? Let's play a game. The rules are very simple. Come over here and I'll show you.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to this Halloween special. My name is Brother Chris, and actually on the other line is my co-host,
Gypsy lady. Hello, boo, and other felicitations of the season.
Yes, and how are you doing actually at this special time of year?
I am scary.
I can see according to your picture, but my picture is gorgeous also for people.
Oh, you're so gorgeous.
Yes, for people that are wondering, that only takes me like 10 minutes actually to do up. So, but yes, tonight what we're going to be doing is we're going to be looking at actually at Halloween. Last year we did with Halloween, and do you remember what you did, Eva?
What I did?
Yeah, for our show. All right, well, last year for our show, you started actually not being there, but your voice was there.
Well, that's because I had vanishing cream on.
Gosh, and do you happen to have it this year by any chance?
No, I used it all up.
Oh, jeepers, that's not fun. That's not fun.
I know, and I'm looking for some more, but it must have vanished.
It must have. It must have. I love that joke. I love that.
Oh, you walked right into that one.
Well, yes, I did, but how much further can I go with that? So.
Well, you can run into a brick wall and get creamed.
Yes. So again, though, tonight what we're going to be doing is we're going to be looking at Halloween. You can see Eva's picture right there. She's actually all dolled up like a gypsy lady. And then my picture there, I'm actually in drag. So yes. Anyway, so Eva, how far back do you remember Halloween goes to?
Well, actually, Halloween goes back a lot further than we really think about it. Can I give a little bit here?
Yeah, go right ahead.
Okay, we think of a lot of people associate. I shouldn't say a lot. There are Christians who associate Halloween with All Saints Day as a Halloween Eve type thing, Christmas Eve. And it's a celebration because the next day you are celebrating All Saints Day, which is a high holy day. But it actually goes back further than that when we go back to the Druids, the other, I don't want to say pagan because that makes it too, but it does go back to that group of more like the Gaelic type things rather than just the Irish and the Scottish or the Scottish, but and it goes back to Samhain, which is a celebration at that time when the supposedly the curtain between this world and the next world is very, very thin. And it also marked the end of the harvest season and the beginning of winter when it's the darker half of the year. So there's a big celebration, and it made people, not so sad about the cold time coming on.
Yeah.
And that last fling.
Yeah, and it's so true though, because again, those they believed actually though that the harvest actually for harvesting was actually all done, and the summer season was complete. Um, so a lot of people nowadays actually celebrate Halloween in different ways. There's a story actually of Jack Skeleton and with the pumpkins also. But with Jack Skeleton, though, the old story, though, is Jack actually was traveling down the road and he turned around to the devil and said, though, to the devil, I'll sell you my soul. So what happened, though, is the devil was like, okay, fine, I'll be glad to take your soul. But Jack turned around and said, see that tree? As they were walking, and the devil's like, yeah. He goes, well, I bet you can't get that apple from that tree. So what had happened though is the devil's like, yeah, right, I'll go up that tree. And right when he was up there, Jack actually put the cross actually in and trapped the devil actually at the top of the tree. The devil complained and said, set me free, set me free. Now what had happened though is Jack turned around and said, we have to make a promise, though, that you will not let me actually into those gates downstairs. And the devil said yes. So Jack went up to heaven. And this legend has it, though, that Jack actually was not let into heaven. He was not actually let back into HEL, double hockey stick.
Oh, you can say it. That's allowed to say.
And what had happened, though, is Jack actually had to roam the world. Now, legend also has it, though, that before settlers came over here to the new land, they used to cut up turnips and light candles in there. But right when they came over here to the new land, they saw plenty of pumpkins. So they carved the pumpkins. So the pumpkins were a lot lighter and a lot easier for cutting than turnip. So that's how pumpkins actually became part of Halloween. So those are two legends
Very
there.
much so.
Those are two
Very
legends
much so.
there. Yeah. So I know Halloween's right around the corner for everybody. It's actually within the next couple days. But yes, Eva, what are some other legends though that you remember about Halloween?
Ah, the one that always sticks in my mind, and it really has nothing to do with Halloween, but um, the legend of Sleepy Hollow, because it was a man who was riding a horse that was pursuing Ichabod Crane, and he had a pumpkin head. So that always sticks in my mind.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to think of some of the other. I think we kind of covered them all, really.
Pretty much. Yeah, yeah. Now I know.
Um,
Now,
Go ahead.
now with your story though about actually the pumpkin head, the guy actually on the horse and all that. I know Disney actually did up the story, so a lot of us we know about Disney's story. But the thing though is, there's another version actually of that story, and it's got Johnny Depp actually in the movie, but that's playing it more true to the actual story about Sleepy Hollow. So,
Oh yeah.
yeah,
Oh yeah.
yeah. Now Salem though, let's go to Salem, Massachusetts.
Oh, I would love to go there. I've never been there.
Same here, same here. Now, people used to be actually accused actually of witches.
Yes.
Most people know though that the downtown Salem is the big party area. But a lot of people don't realize though that the actual hangings did not take part down there.
No.
They took actually up on top of the hill within a different area of Salem, and people used to say, "All right, this person's done this to me." There was actually 21 people though that were falsely accused of witchery. Some were females, some were men, and one of them though was actually a reverend that actually was accused.
Well, the one thing that a lot of people assume is that they were burned at the stake. There were no witches in Salem that were burned at the stake. They were all hanged, and except for I think the one man that actually did find up being accused was they put weights on him, rocks on
Yeah.
him. He was
Yeah.
pressed to death.
Yeah.
And one woman was put into the water. It was a test to see if they were actually a witch, and she drowned.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Breaking a little myth there that grew up around it. But no, Salem is also known for having a lot of, witches nowadays. A lot of them do psychic type work or paranormal type work. And Salem is also supposed to be a very haunted place.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. There is actually the famous house that was originally different location. They did move it to the corner, and that's actually the Seven Gable Church, which is technically a house. That there is supposed to be haunted. The graveyard's supposed to be haunted. That's close by there, right where the energy is. Now, a lot of people think, since underneath our last podcast, Eva was talking about Hocus Pocus. Now, Hocus Pocus, some of it was shot there for season 1. And a lot of it was shot actually there for episode 2. But yeah, for the cemetery location, that was not shot in Salem, Massachusetts. That was shot actually outside of Salem at another community.
I did not know that.
So,
well, Hocus Pocus is one of my favorite movies. I have not seen Hocus Pocus 2.
Oh my gosh, it is so good. It is so good.
Well, if it's got Bette Midler in it, it's got to be good.
Yeah. Well, I'm not going to let you know about the ending, but there's a comical scene that they're actually in one of the grocery stores down there, which is a pharmacy.
Okay.
Anyway, so actually the 3 young witches that don't realize that they're witches yet actually take them actually into the pharmacy and say, all right, let you know, there's a plenty of stuff here that has young souls actually in it. So they take them down the cosmetics area. There's baby oil. There's baby facial cream, baby wipes. So the witches actually do believe it is to do with actually taking children's souls.
That's great. I haven't seen it yet. I will get to see it eventually, but I will see it.
It's on for those though. It's actually on Disney Plus right now. Check it out. So.
That's one of the great Halloween movies, as far as I'm concerned. I can't think of any other Halloween movies right offhand. My mind is just going completely blank.
There's a couple other ones. There is Nightmare Before Christmas.
Yes.
With Jack. Jack
Skeleton.
I'm sorry about that. There is also Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Oh yes. Yes. That's a great movie.
Yeah.
Oh, Little Shop of Horrors.
Yes, it's also another Halloween one.
And then we get into the scary stuff like Nightmare on Elm Street and
Michael Myers, Jason, all the classics.
Yeah, that kind of. I'm sorry, that's not my cup of tea.
Yeah.
I like more of the lighthearted comedy type things. Although Little Shop of Horrors definitely is not.
No, it's not. I remember seeing it actually as a child, and so it was actually shot at Warren Brothers Studios, is right where it was shot, and the gentleman though that actually stars in it, he's also done Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, and also Ghostbusters, which is another Halloween one. So, but yeah. All right. So, what else do we want to talk about for Halloween?
Where do you want to start? I mean, the one thing that I find most fascinating is that this is the time when the veil between the two worlds, our world and the spirit world, is very, very thin. People, in fact, it's the time that is celebrated because of the All Saints Day.
Yeah.
This is the time that the saints will visit and leave messages, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And lots of paranormal things happen at this time. If there is a haunted house or if there's a haunted building, depending on, can be anything, that's when it really gets haunted and gets hearing knocks and voices and all kinds of stuff.
So
I did paranormal investigations, and we would go to some of these places, but not on Halloween. And it was bad enough then, and you can only imagine what it would be at the time of Halloween, because that's a very scary time.
yeah, yeah. I know a couple weeks ago that we went and did a Halloween slash paranormal investigation with a whole bunch of people actually in the heart of Stratford, Ontario, at the Stratford Perth Museum. You can be able to go underneath Haunting Live podcast Facebook group and be able to watch sort of what took on place there. So that was right around this time of year, which is Halloween. But the one thing though that was a little bit weird, before we started, a couple days before we left, it was basically the day before. Anyway, so we had walkie-talkies because there's a sold-out event. People were going to go actually in split two different groups. Anyway, so it was at our location of our office. We had walkie-talkies, sort of what I was saying. Walkie-talkies were turned off. One of them turned completely on by themselves. And so the host of Haunting Live podcast and myself, we were sitting down, relaxing, watching TV. All of a sudden, you could hear one of them going off. And he said, well, it's one of the walkie-talkies. I went to double check, and I know I turned it off. Thing was turned on. So somebody was coming across the walkie-talkie. But how can that happen right when you know you turn everything off? That's the question.
Well, some years ago, I was fortunate enough to go to the Serpent Mound in Ohio.
Yeah.
And I saw a very similar thing. This was not during Halloween, but it was at the Serpent Mound, and my phone stopped working. The camera did not work properly. It was an actual camera, not something from the phone. The car had trouble starting. I mean, there was just all these little electronic things that just like, no. And, but yes, they said that thing does happen. So these sort of things are out there, and I think spirit can interfere with it. I'm surprised something hasn't happened during our podcast here so far, knock on wood. But you never know, and spirit can do that.
Yes.
They can play with you.
Yeah.
And I think they like the light just flickered. All right, we know you're here. And I still feel like there's somebody watching over my one shoulder, but hello, goodbye.
That's okay. And it's so weird though, because like again though, it's like what Gypsy Lady Eva was saying though. Sorry, Gypsy Lady Eva was saying is so that the veil is so thin, and it is so true. One thing I love to do around this time of year, and I haven't done it for quite a while, is actually go into a cemetery, not do damage at all, and this is at night. Just walk and meditate through the cemeteries. Right? Because the energy actually does speak to you within a loud, clear way. And that's one thing I haven't done lately, and I miss doing that. So who knows what's going to go actually on for this year for Halloween with us, since again though it's just right around the corner, and a couple blocks over is a cemetery closest to us. It's a big cemetery. One side though is the Catholic side, and then it's the Protestant, I think it is, or whatever, and then it's the normal.
Protestants.
Yeah, thank you. Then all of a sudden it's the normal, actually, everyday cemetery.
In the process, like I said, I did paranormal stuff, investigations, and one of the things that we found most interesting is the Protestant or normal cemeteries didn't have as much activity as the Catholic ones.
Yeah.
Go figure that.
Yeah. It's like, but yeah, so Eve and I, we do actually have some of our tools with us. We're just gonna basically pull them out right after this break, and we'll take a look actually at them. So yes, we'll be right back in a couple of minutes.
We'll be back.
Paranormal can happen at any time, so that's why our Etsy store. Get your paranormal items from cleansing to protection to attraction, all available now on our Etsy store. Search Haunting Live.
Another great podcast to listen to is Haunting Live Podcast with your host Trevor, interviewing tons of people throughout the world. Listen on any of your podcast providers.
Be sure to check out our new website at HauntingLivePodcast.com. That's again those. Check out HauntingLivePodcast.com.
Are you still there? Yes.
Sorry for that. Yes, we're back. Just had some technical issues there. We were just talking about energy, so who knows if the energy just did that.
That could be.
Yeah. So again, though, Eve and I, we have some tools out. We're just going to sort of see of what things are going to go on. And it's just going to be general readings for us. I do actually have the pendulum. I do actually have a brand new...
I was just getting mine out too.
I do actually have a brand new crystal ball. Eva is going to be getting very soon, or else she should have it by now, hopefully. Actually, my one crystal ball. Do you happen to have that crystal ball yet?
Not yet, but it's on its way.
Okay, all right. So yeah, I do actually have a crystal ball. My crystal ball is actually rose quartz. So yeah.
And I'm very envious.
Eva saw actually last week, I think it was, and she actually said does have a lot of energy. So yeah. All right. So what we're gonna do we're just gonna again look actually at general Halloween.
Halloween.
So I'll give it over to Eva.
And what do you want me to go with?
It doesn't matter. You can actually ask anything. Except for what's going actually in the States and also with Canada right now to do with overseas.
Oh, you don't want anything from the United States right now.
Nor Canada. So.
I'm just trying to think of a good question, and I keep coming up with, Okay, I know. There's been a lot of talk with this thing that's happening in Israel. Is this going to be a long, drawn-out actual, oh gosh, I didn't even finish it, and it's going, yes. This is not going to be a simple little, like a 6-day war. This is going to be a long thing. And my next question, I'm sorry, is going to be, will the United States be involved in this? Will the United States be involved in this? Oh, it's going in circles. So I think that means that the question is the actions are still in debates. It's not been actually carved in stone yet. Your turn.
Okay, all right. So what I basically picked up, though, since we just did the event actually in Stratford at the Stratford Perth Museum, great location to check out if you're here in Ontario. Stratford, though, besides Justin Bieber, again, let's check out the museum. So what I've been drawn to, since I'm actually got the crystal ball in front of me, there was people though that were there though that actually did have spiritual experiences. I can see directly. I call her my wife. Anyway, so she is upstairs helping out with another female that is actually being attacked by the one though that haunts the upstairs. All right, so her name is Jillian. Though I call my wife. Anyway, so Jillian is actually helping her out right now. And again, though, this is according to the crystal ball. Now, I do actually have my pendulum actually in my hand also. So I'm going to actually ask a question, though, about Eva for Halloween.
Okay.
All right. Now, the thing is just rocking back and forth. All right, Eva can see right there.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Is Eva going to have experience to do with her past person? Thing is rocking forward, and that's a yes.
Yeah, that's a vigorous yes.
Yeah. Please stop. Now, will this be emotional for Eva or not? And that's a no. Will not be emotional for you. No crying.
Interesting.
Now, since Eva does actually have somebody behind her, spirit-wise, is this who the person is?
So it is my father.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So that's for you, personally.
Okay. Now, what was the question that you asked to begin with?
The question was at first, is Eva going to be having somebody for Halloween visit you?
Oh, okay.
All right.
So you want me to ask the same question for you?
You can go right ahead.
Okay.
Since energies are always around us.
Is Chris going to have somebody visit him on Halloween? Oh, definitely, yes. And will it be emotional? Can you see that it's going in a circle?
Yeah. It's a big circle.
Big circle. So I would say that they're not going to tell me. Okay, stop.
Do I know the person?
Does he know the person? Oh, definitely yes.
Okay. Wonderful.
Any other questions?
So I'm going to just do a normal general one.
Okay.
All right. And this is for the
I'm going to use a different pendulum because you can't really see it on the monitor. So, this one you can see.
All right. So the question though is, now the person though that I know, is this to do with Trevor's side of the family or my side of the family? Yes for Trevor's side, no for my side.
Oh, it's not going to tell you.
Now, Eva's actually holding it still. Her hand is not swinging at all. Is this somebody from my past life? No, the thing is stopping.
It is now swinging, yes.
All right, wonderful.
Stop.
All right.
See, mine doesn't listen to me.
It's like I said. So basically, though, is a lot of people, though, what I find, though, at this time of year, that they do go to our spiritual mediums or psychics, right, to be able to get readings. Do you find it's busy for you since you're actually over there in the States?
As I don't do a lot of readings to begin with, no, I don't. I kind of got, when COVID hit, I really got out of doing the art fairs and the psychic fairs, and I have not gotten back into it. That's when my health problems hit. So it's like, I'm surprised this is even working right now. I have done a few readings, it just takes a lot out of me right now, but I do feel my strength coming back. So, but in previous years, oh gosh, yes, I would have to turn people away from doing personal reading type things. So,
Yeah.
very interesting.
Yeah. Now, I know though that you've actually stepped away, but what would you say to people though that are more in tune that had actually stepped away? Do they literally step away by any chance?
Yes, they do. When you decide that this is something that you've got to get away from for a little bit, yes, you will step away, and it's like a barrier. I don't want to say a barrier goes up, but a wall goes up, and it does protect you, would be the best way to put it. Because I think spirit knows when you can and cannot handle these things physically, mentally, spiritually at that time. People who do step away, though, a lot of them will give a specific for the next 6 weeks, for the next month, until my health is back, things like that. And then they are given the choice. Do you want to continue? If not, that's it.
Yeah.
It's like they really don't get their abilities back. They do, but they don't. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. It does. Because a lot of people, though, that they actually think, though, that once we deal with spiritual, right, we can never walk away.
Right? Oh, yeah, you can.
Yeah. So that's why I'm actually asking the questions, especially at this time of year. Like, I know the energy comes to us spiritual mediums / psychics way stronger, right? But what are some ways so that you can actually say to people that, especially if they're just tapping in, or even if they're actually more or less working with the spiritual side, underneath your personal journey, what would you say is actually best off for them to actually help protect them by any chance?
Prayer is one of the biggest ones. The best prayer that you can say is the Lord's Prayer, or you can recite the 23rd Psalm. Sometimes wearing a sack of salt, a little sack of salt. Salt is also a protection. I'm just trying to think. There are other things that can be done. But a lot of it also depends on the person themselves. Just by saying no sometimes will get the spirit away from you.
Yeah.
Or put up that barrier. And then you, like I say, you are given the decision. You kind of set a time schedule, like I say, for the next 2 months, I don't want anything to do. Well, at the end of that 2 months, you're given a choice. Do you want to continue, or do you want this to stop permanently? And it stops permanently. I mean, I know several people. You can't always get it back. It's there. It's like people who are artists. They don't lose the talent. It's just that they don't use it.
Yeah.
It's always there. And it's the same thing with people with psychic abilities. It's always there. You never really lose it, but you can choose not to use it.
Yeah. So the final question though is for Halloween. All right, I'm just gonna ask you. All right, anything else though that you want to add on? I know I'm basically actually asking you the questions tonight, all right? Because you've been working actually in the field longer than I have, even though I started at the age of 6, and that there is, God, over 40 years for myself. I'm dating myself, yes. But yeah, anything else though that you would have to say about this time of year for people?
In what respects are you asking?
Well, basically though is about Halloween, like directly with Halloween. Should people be worried or
no? If you are a good person, you will continue to be a good person. These things will affect you in a very different way than if you are someone who uses it for nefarious reasons. Also at this time of the year, how Halloween affects these people is it really just depends on the person too. A lot of times during this time, if you have abilities but you've never expanded on them,
Yeah.
this is the time when they really start beginning to say, hey, I'm here. You're going to use me. This is the time that spirit will talk to them, will get them going, get them, the abilities will click in, if you will. I've known many people who would say, I think it started at the end of October, and I'm going like, ding, 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 Halloween.
Yeah.
Like I said, that's the time when the veil is very thin. And there was something else I wanted to tell you, and our listeners, because I think it's so interesting. Where I live here in the States, in Michigan, Brown City, it's a little dinky town off the beaten path. But 10 miles from my house is one of the most haunted houses in Michigan, the Bruce Mansion. Go look it up. You will be surprised. It's a fascinating place. I've been there. I've had 2 seances there. I've done readings there. And there definitely is something going on there. It is very, very haunted. And in a very mostly in a positive way, but it's fascinating, and it's just around the corner. Yes.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah.
Keep waiting for you to come over here so I can take you there.
Who knows? It's like, gosh, so. But yeah, sometime whenever I get over there, be awesome to go over there with you. And yeah, again though, is for people though that are actually interested more or less about Eva's or even my journey, check us out. Our website, sorry, not website, our emails are at the end actually of this podcast. Again though, is we're nowadays posting only on Spotify, and yeah, we'll let you guys know certain times and all this and that. We do actually have plenty of great past shows that we've done. And yeah, so there's a lot of great shows that we've actually done in the past. We do say thanks a lot for tuning in, especially for this Halloween special. What I like to say to you guys though, well, you guys are actually out probably trick-or-treating. If you guys are young ones or if you guys are much older, going to the parties, be sure and play it safe. All right. Make sure though, if for the kids, though, make sure though that you get your parents to double check actually the candy. No, they're not going to take the candy. There has been claims actually. There has been claims of, in the past actually people putting drugs or razors actually with inside the candy. So make sure. And for the adults though, that are of age, if you're going to be out driving, especially coming back from parties or whatever, please drink responsibility. All right, because we don't want you guys to come and haunt us.
No, we don't need that.
So,
yeah. Please heed the words of Brother Chris and be responsible. I know this is a fun time and lots of things are going on, but please be careful.
Yeah.
And have a great time otherwise. It's good out there.
Yeah. All right, so from Eva and myself, we do say to you guys thanks a lot, and we'll catch you later.
Have a great one.
Book for your private readings with Gypsy Lady Eva at gypsyladyeva49@gmail.com or book with Brother Chris at divineoraclereadings@gmail.com. Another great podcast to listen to is Haunting Live Podcast with your host Trevor, interviewing tons of people throughout the world. Listen on any of your podcast providers.